Caffeine is one of the most consumed products around the world, but it has its pros and cons. Let's take a look at what they are. But first, let's get some basics. In nature, plants use caffeine to repel insects and kill them. Caffeine is an alkaloid like morphine and nicotine. That's the brain, and those are adenosine receptors. The adenosine is attaching to its receptors, telling you it's time to rest, but the caffeine essentially blocks those receptors and keeps you awake. On physical tests, caffeine was shown to improve alertness but also fatigue for some people and improved reaction time, but marksmanship was not affected. Caffeine helps alertness, clear-headedness, and activeness. As our caffeine level shows, at high dosages, caffeine can cause jittering, extreme nervousness, anxiety, and tension. Anxiety is based on the STAI. The test is based on measuring current states of anxiety as well as genetic traits. An experiment on memory and caffeine gave people word lists and told them to memorize it. They took snapshots before and after consuming caffeine. However, there was a minimal difference. According to our studies, dopamine release causes addiction, but caffeine's interaction with dopamine is different than drugs like cocaine and nicotine. Caffeine increases cell receptor transmission of dopamine, but the more caffeine you have, the more you need. This is because the brain creates more adenosine receptors after consuming caffeine. This is the brain. When it reacts with caffeine, it creates energy. But hyperperfusion can occur. That's shock from lack of oxygen and other nutrients. In rat brains, caffeine was shown to modulate antioxidants and protect the brain's oxidative system. About 10 grams of pure caffeine is a lethal dose. That's about 100 cups of coffee. But caffeine can also raise blood pressure and cholesterol levels. 75 milligrams to about 150 milligrams is a healthy amount. Tolerance to caffeine and its side effects can be developed, but oversensitivity can happen too. Are there any other alternatives? Well, there's theocrine. It's an alkaloid like caffeine, and it's found in an ancient Chinese tea. It has lower side effects than compared to caffeine. Child consumption. The FDA hasn't set a limit on child consumption of caffeine. It increases heart rate and blood pressure, and can hurt neurological development. Soda is the most common form of caffeine consumption. Of 5,448 overdoses of caffeine, 46% were under 19 years of age.